Whether you're constantly on diaper duties or embarking on uncharted waters of raising a family, stay tuned for expert takes on how to navigate through the world of parenting. Hello and good day, my lovely viewers. Welcome to another episode of Women Talk, Season 4 with me, Sazzy Falak. Now, they say life's greatest adventure is discovering the transformative journey of parenthood. Today, we are diving into this topic where it's an exciting, challenging and love-filled world of becoming a new parent. First, I'd like to introduce my guest for today. We've got Shane Wong.
Hi.
Hello. Oh, I love the pageant wave.
The wave. Hi.
You are a parenting influencer and speaker. Also has a diploma in Montessori education.
Yes.
And then this lovely lady right here is Katiana Azman, who is a psychologist specializing in cognitive behavioral therapy for children and adolescents.
Yeah.
And both of you are moms.
Yes, we are.
Yes. Okay, so get this, before we start our discussion, I've got something to share with you ladies. This year, Malaysia saw nearly a jump of 9% in live births in the first quarter, according to the Department of Statistics Malaysia, with over 110,000 babies being born.
That's a lot of little humans.
That's a lot of little humans. The most being in Selangor, and then the least being in Wilayah Persekutuan Labuan. That's a lot of little people. So you both are mothers. Yes. Quick dive into your motherhood. How many children do you have, Shane?
I have 3.
Okay.
Three.
You also 3?
No, just one.
You got one?
Just one.
So you have 3, the ages of 10...
10, 7, and 1 year, 10 months.
Or 22 months, because it's always very confusing when they do that. And what about you?
My little one is a year, 3 months, so 15 months.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Young ones. You've got very, very young ones. And
yes.
You know what? It's so interesting because you are a psychologist specializing in behavioral therapy for children. But even with all that knowledge that you have, did it prepare you for motherhood?
Oh, absolutely not.
No.
Not at all. Not at all. All those years of schooling and 10, 11 years of working, not at all prepared for that little human. But I think, yeah.
There's something about parenting. You can do as much research and get as prepared as much as you can, but nothing really, you know...
Truly prepares you.
Prepares you for the real thing. Exactly, parenting.
True.
What sort of parenting styles do you have?
I think I'm the lucky one because I'm the Montessori education background, as you know. So when I have the 3 kids, of course, I know their pattern.
Okay. So it does help prepare you a little bit.
Yes, of course, they're prepared. But one thing is like every child born differently. Even my eldest is like super, super good boy.
Okay.
Then my second one, she's still okay. The third one can be crazy about it.
Ya ampun, like that.
Yes, really like, oh my God, every day is drama. Every day I get the complaint from the nanny.
Really? I feel you there because my third one, I mean, I had twin girls, you know, so they're twins. So you think just by having twins, I'm quite prepared for just one child alone. Nope, nothing prepared me for my son. Every day there's some sort of accident or some sort of thing that happens. I guess it's the same for you.
Everything happens, a new thing.
And how do you normally react when it comes to, you know, children being children? Because of, you know, the background that you have, are you more well-prepared, well-versed on how to respond to a child's need when they are misbehaving, let's say?
To me, to be honest, like, I would be very calm. Compared to my in-law and my sister-in-law, they were like, oh, overreact. So, for example, like, if my child, he break the glass, firstly, I would just bring him away. And sort of people like, no. Actually, I would just like, calm him down first. I said, are you okay? Are you okay with this?
I have so much to learn from you because I'm the exact opposite.
Oh, really?
I'm quite the drama queen.
Because when you shout, I think he will more nervous and he's step on the grass. That's why for me, it's like, have to calm him down first, bring him aside, clean it, then only...
Then you kind of
naughty
discipline
corner.
them. Naughty
corner.
You don't want to react too fast as well,
react
especially when like, they fall down. You want to make sure that they're calm.
Calm them first.
So Katiana, new into parenting, even though you're a psychologist.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. How was it for you when your daughter was born?
I think for me, because I feel like, you know, she's my first that's mine, but I've taken care of hundreds of other people's
I know.
children.
You didn't have to take them home.
I didn't have to take them home, which I realized is the hard bit, taking them home. But I guess going into parenthood, I said to myself, I wanted to be very cognizant of the types of things that I see in my practice that I know are detrimental to child development. So just kind of making an effort to just correct myself whenever. But you know what? I've got so much more empathy for parents now. And I'm like, you know, when you lose your patience with your child, I can now say that's normal, that's human. And we all have those days. And I think I didn't have that real true experience until I had a child. So yeah, I tell myself to try. I mean, I know, as Shane was saying, we have the training. That doesn't mean we get it perfect all the time. You know, but I think the main thing that I always say is that if I make a mistake, I want to set a precedence where my daughter will hear me say sorry.
I love that.
Yeah, so I do that. So, and I've lost my patience with her, which I've done now that she's walking. There's accidents everywhere.
Oh gosh.
And if I've lost my patience.
It's a scary time, them walking at this age.
Yes, and so, and they love finding like the most dangerous things that they should not be doing. That's what they seem to find. And I always tell her, like, you know, I'm sorry, mommy lost my patience. I was scared, I was angry. And she babbles, she doesn't understand what I'm saying. But I think that, to me, has been a really big thing, is making sure that I correct myself if I make a mistake.
I think from my experience, it's a great thing for a parent to be able to humiliate themselves and say, look, I made a mistake, I'm not perfect.
True.
Because I'm going to keep on making mistakes as a mother
Yes.
to my two girls. But it's more about, I think zaman dulu-dulu, if you salah, parents salah, you always like, no.
Yes.
So now we talk, because we want them to also learn to be better human beings.
Correct.
Up, to be able to face up to your you know, your mistakes and apologize.
I think I will try to be equal.
Yes.
But it's so hard because the youngest always like the cutest, even though it's naughty. But I try to be like same with them, because for me it's like fair, have to be fair. Sometimes like for me it's like every children have a different character, because I believe like every child, they do different things. In a different age. Plus mine is like 3 different age. For me it's like very hard. The brother now is like going to year 6. And the sister is like just standard 1. And the brother is like so baby. So when I go home, I have to handle so many things. Homework, motherhood, the complaint from the nanny, the maid, everyone, and my work also.
I think one of the things that I feel like our parents were spared of was that they didn't have to parent in a social media generation.
True.
And I think that the social media generation has made it so easy for people to compare themselves and to be subject of that comparison. So I think,
right.
So I think that's been the thing that not just myself, but like the people that I work with, the young families that I work with, where they're going online and they're seeing this very doctored picture of easy parenting. You know, you cook all your child's meals, your child has activities all day, and then here you are just trying to make it through the day.
Just trying to survive.
And
be human.
Yeah, and inevitably it makes you feel like you're failing on every front. And so I think that, to me, is one of the bigger things that I'm dealing with the people I work with. I mean, of course, there's also the normal concerns about is my child meeting milestones? You know, is my child...
I want to talk about that after this, since you're an expert as well. So we're going to go for a little break. We'll be right back after this. Don't go anywhere. Hello everyone, welcome back to Women Talk. We're still talking about new into parenting. So when it comes to babies, they go very fast. When they're this little cute little thing, and then there are just many milestones to celebrate. But I also remember being in a constant state of blur. How do you remember? What are your steps in making sure that you take in the milestones, you remember it, do you note it down? You're an influencer, Shane.
Yes, actually this is how I start my influencer, because I'm taking picture of my son.
Okay.
Yeah, as you know, like back to 10 years ago, I'm sure like IG is like still not that popular.
Yeah. It was just a bit of IG around that time.
Yeah, normally people, like parents never like upload any kids' photo. Don't upload it. They will be dangerous, you know. They will track you. So for me, it's like another way I see is like the milestone. So I upload all the pictures.
It's like a photo album.
Yeah. For me, it's a photo album. To me, like look back and find back. Of course, the first child, I upload a lot. Second, I still okay. Third one, tak apalah.
Yeah, and the third one.
But of course, I keep in my phone. I think it's very important. Like when you see back, it's like, oh, so cute.
Yeah.
But now it's like, the third one is like totally no time for him.
You have too many already. Because I feel you, because for me 3 is too many, and my husband actually wanted 5. Thank God we stopped at 3. So, but we were talking about social media before we went on a break, and you know how young parents now tend to look at other social media platforms or other people's social media and compare themselves as mothers. There are pros and cons, but obviously for you, you used it to your advantage for the right reasons. For you, it's a pro.
Yeah,
you know?
not really pro. I want to make him stylo. That's why I style his hair. It's like very, very spiky hair, and I dress him up in shoes. That's why everyone like, oh my God, he's so cute. How can like boy become so fashionista?
Because of the mother.
Yeah.
With you, Katana, you being a psychologist, so are you what are your working hours like, and how do you juggle that with parenting?
Oh, I would probably say I was delusional before I had my daughter, because
we were all delusional
before we became parents. I very confidently told the hospital where I worked that I was going to take the basic maternity leave, and I would be back 6 days a week, the way that things were before. That did not happen. Little did I know that did not happen. And I think it was because for me, I felt that I was, there was a lot that I was missing out on. And I also felt that I personally, emotionally, physically, especially in the job that I do, I was just not ready to go back 6 days a week, which is what I was doing before. So now what it is I'm very blessed. I work in a hospital that's very accommodating. So I do 3 days at the clinic and then 3 days telehealth, because that was one of the benefits, I would say.
3 days what?
Telehealth.
I see.
Yeah, so I would say, so I think that is, so it's actually video calls.
Okay.
That was something that we had to start overnight because of COVID.
Yes.
So, and we kept it going because a lot of my kids that I'm working with are studying overseas. A lot of them finish school at 3:30, so it's just coming through the traffic jam. So it was something that we were actually quite lucky, still needed to continue. So I do 3 days at the hospital and then 3 days virtually from home. And it is very challenging, I think, for me, because 99.5% of my day is difficult. I hear a lot of very distressing, traumatizing things in my line of work. And coming home to a little kid who, is just all about happy and wanting to play with mama. So very, very quickly, I had to learn how to kind of like leave that at home. I really take my hat off to working parents. It is an absolute juggling act. It's really hard,
Well, post-pandemic, things have changed. A lot of parents are now working remotely, giving them more time with their children, and to be able to be there and see their milestones as well. What about you? What is your mother routine like? Your daily routine like?
My kids is like different because like my eldest is a morning section.
Oh, you do.
Oh,
you have
and the
that
second
one.
is afternoon.
Yes.
Oh dear.
Been there, done that. Okay.
But one thing good is like morning, I can spend time with the jeje, with the sister. So when the jeje go to school, went back, so I can spend time with my son. So during the break time, But for me, it's like always spending time with the kids is very important. Even like on the way back from the school, you have to ask, hey, how was your school? How was you?
What happened today?
Everything. Because I think it's like communication is the key. During like their age, as you know. Yeah, my son like now this year is 10, and especially boy, everything keep in the heart. That's why I have to like.
Really, I gotta take note.
Boy is like that. My boy is like always like keep in the heart. Whatever happens, like, oh no, nothing. But when he talked to the teacher, he was a lot thing. Then I listen from the teacher. Oh, I didn't know that. Wow, so this is boy. But the girl is like, everything. Oh, my friend is. So I need to spend with my son like one-to-one. Like for Saturday, I will spend time like morning section with my son. then afternoon with my daughter, then like evening, like family.
It sounds
time.
like you have a lot of time with your children, which is such a blessing. You know, that's a beautiful blessing. And in talking about emotional, you were saying your son keeps in a lot, everything. With your line of work, I'm sure you're very familiar with children expressing emotions and such and everything. What can you share with us, you know, for new parents, especially parents who have children as young as yours? You know, what can they look out for in terms of development, emotional development, cognitive, anything?
I think that anyone who's had a kid recently will know that your doctor will give you a very, very clear checklist of the cognitive milestones, the motor skill milestones, the speech milestones. All of that I think is very clear.
Yeah.
But a lot of parents are concerned because you don't know, like you said, about the emotional development.
Yeah.
And so I always tell parents, when you have little ones, and when you have boys, do not rely on their words because they might not have the language or the vocab or even the capability. So your child might not come home and say, "Mummy, I've had a bad day."
Yes.
So look for changes in behavior. So if a child who's normally quite happy-go-lucky is a little bit more withdrawn, a little bit more teary, maybe they're having changes with their sleep pattern or their eating pattern. So look for changes in their temperament and their functioning. And that's usually a sign that there's something going on that they're finding difficult to process.
Yeah.
And
They don't have the words to describe what they're feeling.
Yes, exactly. So a lot of parents will wait for like, oh, but my child didn't tell me anything.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not always going to be how it presents.
Yeah.
You're right. Girls are generally a lot better at like, guys, this is what happened.
Yeah.
But younger children and boys do seem to struggle. So I say look for those things first.
I see.
And then speak to teachers, speak to you know bus drivers, whoever who interacts with the child, and see whether you can kind of pick up whether something's happened.
It's so important to see that because I'll just share a little story. I just recovered from influenza about a week and a half ago. And obviously my two daughters understood what was going on, so we shipped them off quickly to my dad's house. My son, however, just couldn't understand why mommy couldn't get out the room. Obviously for me, it's like I do not want to get near my son. But days after me isolating myself, I came out and my son had this... It was just something menial happened and he had this overreaction to things and just went nuts, basically, in that sense. And I spoke to my mom about it. My mom's like, it could be because he doesn't know how to express how upset he felt when he didn't have your presence, when you were not around. So this is his way of reacting.
Exactly.
So it's so important to pay attention. Sometimes when they're emotional about something, it's not just that. It's something deeper than that. And I think as a parent, yeah, you know what? Let's dive deeper into that after we come back from this break. We're going to go for a short break. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back. Thanks for still tuning in. We're still talking about new into parenting, and right before we went into a break, we were talking about children and their emotional behaviors.
So I think, you know, I tell a lot of people, like, if it is intimidating for you to reach out to a child psychologist or a mental health professional or someone in that field, go to your pediatrician, go to your family doctor, go to your GP.
Someone that you're comfortable with.
Exactly. So go to the people that you're comfortable with, and more times than not, they can kind of either support you themselves or funnel you towards resources that you can access. Every medical facility in this country has a mental health professional, has a child specialist, or at the very least, a medical specialist, right? And that's, I guess, where you could start if you're overwhelmed and don't know where to go.
I see. Have you ever had to handle a case like that, like where a parent realized there were changes in their child, and how did you navigate? Let's just talk a bit about the case that you've handled that's similar to
what
we're talking about.
More often than not, a lot of parents come in and they're like, I don't know what's wrong, but I have a feeling something's wrong. So don't feel like you have to know specifically what the issue is. So it's my job as a therapist or as a psychologist to be able to help you with that. So parents out there, do not feel like you need to know exactly what it is. Don't go on Google to try to figure out what the diagnosis is. If you have a gut feeling, go with that.
And don't be afraid to seek for help. You know, it's a big thing nowadays, mental wellness, everybody, you know, seeking for therapy doesn't mean that something's wrong with you. It's just that you're trying to navigate your way through life. Okay, what about you, Shane? Like, how has the dynamic between you and your husband changed since the arrival of all your 3 children?
Of course, it's a big change. From 2 become 5.
5 people, yes. I always say this, you know, I have 4 children. My eldest is 49 years old.
Actually, my
How is it
husband
like
also
for you?
another child.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
I think all the husband is like the younger one. For me, it's like because now we have the 3 kids.
Yes.
And for me, it's like time. Have to give him more time
Yeah.
Because from first,
We don't want to forget our partners.
Yes.
when my eldest is young,
Yes.
I was like, hey, let's go to the class together.
Yeah.
My husband's like, why? Why I need to go? I think this is part of your job, Daddy. I think this is not part of your job. He said, no, my friend's not going this kind of job. Not going to the class together, like, you know, like those class have to parents
Is he
go
an
in
involved
together.
father? Like now that your child is dah besar?
From first, he's not. But now
Okay.
I train him to become
Oh,
involved.
very good. You.
That shows the
Good
word
for you.
trained.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I'm telling you, like, all the mother, like, don't feel like, for my friends, like, who, oh, I cannot let my husband to shower my kids. He cannot shower clean. I said, no, mommy, you have to let go.
Yes.
You have to
let go.
believe. You have to believe. Sometimes, like, I will let my husband to send my kids to the tuition class. I will just close my eyes. Whatever you want to eat, whatever you want. This is the way the father and the son bonding time. I think it's like father and son bonding time is very important.
And when it's fair between the both of you, you
Yes.
also get your time for relaxation.
True.
So you're
why-
not handling the stress yourself.
Yes, that's why for me, it's like my conflict with my husband is like really less because I always like tell you, we have to work together.
Communication.
Yeah, this is a family.
Yes.
I'm not alone. We have to do it together.
You are also the parent.
Yes,
Yeah.
I told you always like remind him. Yeah, this is your child too. don't forget you are the father. But of course, I have to tell him like the benefit. You see now our child's like so fast. Just blink an eye, 10 years old.
Yeah.
Suddenly 10 years old.
Yes,
I mean,
suddenly.
I feel the same way as well.
True. I say like spending time with them is a goal period.
Yeah.
You cannot go back.
Spend time with them and cherish
Yes.
every waking moment. Because you know what, time does fly, and suddenly
Yes.
my kids, they could be in Form 1 next year. I don't know what exactly happened, but thank you so much for your insights, sharing your stories and sharing the case that you handle. I'm sure we've learned so much. I'm sure the audience learned so much. Have a great evening ahead, ladies, and thanks so much to everyone else for watching. See you guys next week.